We're back.
This conversation is part of the show.
It is because we're still live, and it's still part of it. We're just not in here. I disagree, Crucible, but that's just, hey, you have the right to your opinions. And if you think I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's, I'm going to give him some slack on that one. You're not entitled to the man's entire life just because you paid $45 for a video game. That's all I'm going to say. That's a bit of entitlement there.
Well,
I've paid way more than $45.
I've paid a lot more than $45.
You're not entitled to a man's life for
$10,000
or whatever. It's not the same.
Well, I remember in the early days that was the price point. Remember
that was the price point. It was 10,000. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get to spend, you get not get his day, but you could hang out with Chris Roberts for half a day. Is anyone here, just out of curiosity, if any of you guys or maybe anyone in chat, did any of you actually do that back in the day? If we have anyone who just happened to, if Clifford was here, I think he might be able to do it. But that was kind of interesting that was like a backer perk.
Yeah, I know. I can't imagine that being very, very invigorating.
That was in the early days too.
Yeah,
just think about that. It's like not now where you'd be like, oh yeah, let's check this out. It was like back when it's like, yeah, we got a closet, that people work out of, and it's just so just really way back then.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. I'll address this one more time, but like, Chris did do an entire video earlier this year. If people forget about that, that was in the summer, right? You did like an hour or so. Talking
the
with
We're
him
Still Alive video.
Yeah, the We're Still Alive video.
He did.
So like people are like, oh, once every 2 years I want to see him. It's like he was on a video in July. Like I get it. I understand where people's like, hey, I'd like to see more Chris. And I think that was probably one of the failings of Citizencon was that we're used to seeing Chris Roberts on stage directing the thing, talking about the game and being passionate about it. And I think the end would have been nice to have him come back and talk a little bit more. So I get that visceral reaction, but I still get it. I still understand it.
Well, I miss his videos. He used to do Pillar Talk.
The Pillar Talk and stuff like that. Yeah.
He used to do the CEO stuff and just to hear future stuff coming out of his mouth versus coming out of Jared's or someone else's is different, because Death of a Spaceman is becoming a reality, and that was his concept. Yeah. And I want to hear the next part of it from whatever comes out of his mind. The brain behind Wing Commander. I mean, if I was to spend half a day with Chris Roberts, I probably wouldn't even ask about Star Citizen. I'd just be nerding out about all the Wing Commander stuff, because that's how I got into this whole project, was a love of his past games and playing those when I was a kid, and just amazing stuff.
I'll end it with that. Let's continue on with some of the questions. All right. So so for those of you guys who don't know, we're going to answer some questions from the chat now. The chat's been asking a few questions. We've got about 14 questions. But let's move on to the first question from Gin and Tonic, who asks, okay, I'm usually really up on what's going on in Star Citizen. What the heck is the Argo Raft, or what is rumored to be? A refinery ship? What's the rumor based on? I will give you the very basic breakdown, but I don't know how much we would want to comment on it anyways, just because there's just not a lot of information out there outside of the leaked stuff, which is...
We just got the Anvil Raft. I'm not sure if anyone's the Anvil Raft.
There's supposedly some ship going around there saying it's called the Argo Raft and it's a cargo ship. That's pretty much all it is. That's pretty much all the leaks are. We don't know if it's going to come out, and it's not the refinery ship as far as we know. At least last, because they hinted at the cargo ship being a MISC ship, very heavily mentioning it's a rift, a MISC. So, that's about it. I think that's we're gonna have to wait till IAE to hear more about that. Yeah, a MISC-tery. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A MISC-tery. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to skip this one because
while we're on the subject of the Argo Raft and Argo itself, Joe and I haven't seen you since we last did the Captain's Table, and congratulations to the Argo Cargo for winning Ship of the Year.
Yes,
we both voted for it throughout the whole thing, and our alt accounts and everything. And I know there's a little shenanigans that went on, but I'm so happy it won. It was like David versus Goliath, and Joe and I are really hoping to see an Argo variant, and looks like it might happen with a little mining arm on it. And I don't know if that was part of any type of the Raft concept or if that's just going to be a misship or whatever. But dude, I'm super happy that the Argo won. And it was like the biggest long shot. I did not think it was going to beat the Carrick of the MSR, but it just kept going. So.
I had faith of the heart, knowing where my heart will take me.
It was really up and down there for a while too. Like it's kind of a fun ending to the ship showdown.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the ship showdown we continue with this engagement with the ship showdown, because that was hilariously fun, and I want to see more engagement, people being very passionate about it. But
power
of the pub, says Bluesy.
Apparently, like for those of you who don't know, I am being blamed or credited with the victory of the Argo Cargo, because I think it was Dog Demon and Naz. I think Nazarus were the two guests where we just decided, you know what, I'm going to pull for the Argo Cargo to win this year. And then someone told me that Red Lear did that last year and it didn't work. And I'm like, well, now he's got backup. Now let's do this. And I was going to, like, the fact that it got into the ship, I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's try to get it a skin. But we got it a skin, and I was like, can't believe that worked. Wait, we're continuing? This is going on? Cool, I'll ride this all the way to the end. But like, yeah, it was started as a appreciation for a little ship that deserves recognition. That's really what it was. It was like, it's fun, but it deserves recognition because it's this awesome little thing. It's actually one of the oldest ships in Star Citizen. It is, because it started life as the Idris utility vehicle, was what it's called. And then it became the Argo multi-purpose utility vehicle. But it started off as literally a Squadron 42 asset. So it was like one of the very first ships after like the 300i and the Constellation and that kind of stuff. It was part of that first wave. So it was amazing. So, all right. Next question. We already talked about this one, which is, how do we feel about the Liberator? Mixed feelings. It's a box. It's a table with engines.
Pretty for it.
Cypress Stone asks, when are we going to see escape pods? When Modularity gets in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. When we see
think, I don't think we're going to see them.
The whole C. I think when we get the whole C in, we'll start seeing movement towards that. You know,
I mean, I don't think we're going to see it next year. Escape pods working.
I think we'll see escape pods. I think we'll see escape pods working when Death of a Spaceman is in. Those kind of things come hand in hand, like full Death of a Spaceman.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if you think so you mentioned the hull as far as modularity, but I mean the whole series, they're like accordion ships. But like Modularity is really about like taking existing ship parts and like taking them off and putting different things on, like that are actual like big ship parts, not just components. So that would be
the tech is.
Well, that would
go ahead.
Kind of similar, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the idea behind the modularity, if I remember correctly, is that you have to be able to essentially swap out these components procedurally, and they can be separate elements within the ship, but still be considered part of the ship itself, which is similar to way the whole C. You had to be able to take the spindles out and then attach cargo and put it onto the ship, and still be, now the ship treats it as it's part of the ship, but then you can remove it and it's no longer part of the ship. It's the docking undocking problem. How we got the Merlin. It's the same reason why you don't have like the big box carriers in the Aurora and all those sorts of things. And now that we have the Merlin, we know that they've solved that problem to a degree. So I think we have to kind of wait for that kind of to mature a little bit more. So
yeah, because the whole containers, they're actual big containers where the cargo goes into them.
Yeah,
which I guess you're right. So that would be kind of like a type of modularity. Because I think about like the ship itself extending in and out. That's no different than like the landing gear extending in and out.
Right.
Yeah. You're okay. Yeah. So you're talking about the actual like cargo boxes that attach to it.
Yeah. And all that.
Okay, that makes sense.
And all that an escape pod is just a cargo for a person.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
You know. Yeah. So. In theory.
A meat popsicle.
Yeah. Could it be about the same time that they make the command module of the Caterpillar detachable?
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah, that'd be modularity for sure.
Well, yeah, and that's coming in soon. Like that was on the roadmap and it's been removed from the roadmap. I think it'll probably pump back into the roadmap. So I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up next year. If we see it next year.
Well, we're gonna need it for Squadron 42, right?
Yeah, probably.
Escape pod's working. So
Oh yeah,
I'm sure as soon as they get that figured out, bam, it'll be in the PU.
All right. Next question comes from Hellcat1337, who asks, in many sci-fi IPs, there are iconic ships that represent the specific IP. For example, the Star Destroyer for Star Wars, the Enterprise for Star Trek. What ship do you think is the iconic ship for Star Citizen? Richard, let's start with you on this one. What do you think is the iconic ship?
Well, my initial thought goes back to the collector's edition boxes, or the Star Citizen boxes that Sandy Gardner had showed up many years ago as what ships were going to be on the covers of the boxes, both the standard and the collector's edition. That was the F-7C Hornet, or I guess maybe now it'll be the F-7A probably, and of course the Constellation. Those two ships were the box art ships. They're kind of like the poster children for the game as far as CIG is concerned for, well, at least the box sets. But that's kind of an easy answer for me. I'm sure there's now over 100 different options, but that's the easy answer that comes to me is that those are the ships that are literally going to be on the boxes if they continue on with the Sandy's initial concept art.
How about we flip this onto like personal? What do you think for you is the iconic Star Citizen ship? A ship that when you think Star Citizen, what's the ship that comes to mind?
For me, it would probably still be the Constellation, simply because it's a Robert Space Industries ship, and this is Chris Roberts' game. He had a company in game, in lore, named after him, and I think the collector's edition is going to have the Constellation as the box art. So, still to this day, I think that ship is probably what I think of when you're like, hey, what is the kind of like the poster ship for the game?
Yeah. Jawa, what do you think? What do you think? What two parts of that? What do you think is the iconic ship, and what do you think for you is the iconic ship?
Okay. Let's see. I think that the box itself is going to be the Argo cargo. They'll just make that. No.
I would kill for a special edition box that's just an Argo cargo. That you pull the CDs out of the Argo cargo, or the flash drive.
You open up the back of it. Yeah. Now, actually, to be honest with you, though, the iconic ship, what I've seen, every time I see a ship, or hey, that kind of looks like this, it's a Carrack. That a lot of people in chat are mentioning that as well, but it's just it for this game, you like the MSR, yeah, it's great, but it looks like the Millennium Falcon. Just definitely, I think that the Carrack is the one. And then I guess for me, the iconic ship for me, since it's where Fist got me one, with in-game money, and it's where I started earning my money, and it's where I really learned how to fly, was the Caterpillar. So, it's not maneuverable all that much, but then I ended up shooting a video with it around Hurston and talking about some interesting flying. But I just love the cat.
All right, Fist, same two questions. What does you think is the iconic ship, and what is your iconic ship?
So I don't know who Jawa is anymore. I'm usually the Anvil guy, right? So I want to answer this three different ways, right? The one, I think the most iconic ship in the game currently is the 890 jump. I see it more in everything.
Yeah.
My personal favorite, which I'm surprised Jawa didn't say anything Origin. My personal is the Carrack, right? That's the reason. That's the first time I really bought big money into the game, and I was like, I'm gonna have to buy this ship in real life because it does everything and it's amazing. But I think really you break it out the way the game is now, you break it out by manufacturer, for Anvil, it's a Carrack. For Drake, to me, it's a Caterpillar. For Origin, it's the 890. For RSI, it's The Connie series for Crusader, it's the MSR. For Argo, it's the Argo Cargo. Misk, I would probably say they all look alike, so I just say the Freelancer. They all look like a
Endeavor.
Cylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would look like a big Cylon. But that's the coolest part of the game for me is all the different ship manufacturers and how we relate it today to car manufacturers and their highlight of their brand and everything. It's for me that's just the thing for me in the game. That's what gets me is all of that. So
I'm gonna cheap out a little bit. I think that it's either the Connie or the Hornet are going to be like the things. And I think as we get towards Squadron 42, I know the Gladius is the main belle of the ball for Squadron 42, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Hornet is involved in there and then eventually kind of takes over the reins towards the end of that game. I think if you were to see Squadron 42 box, it would have a Hornet on the front. And I think with Star Citizen, it would probably be the Connie, just because the Connie represents Star Citizen's multi-crew, but also represents like the ship. It is the ship that it kind of embodies what Star Citizen is, warts and all. I will also say that if I were to actually see a box art of Star Citizen, I think it would not be a ship. I think what we would see is Port Olisar.
Oh, okay.
Because if you look at it, like Port Olisar is kind of the iconic image for Star Citizen right now, or a Port Olisar alike, just because of the rings and like the three rings and the pads and stuff like that. I think something like that would more likely be the iconic symbol of Star Citizen, is like Port Olisar.
Yeah. Have you seen it in PTU yet at night?
I haven't, no.
So Port Olisar, was locked in where it always had sunlight, right?
Yeah.
There was shade on some parts, but now that it's in orbit with Orison, it actually gets nighttime and it's fully dark at PO. Mm-hmm. And the way they have the lights and everything set up, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something you're not used to seeing. You're like, oh my God, they can't change it. They just need to update it, and they have to do something because it's so iconic now. It's like, oh, please don't take it out. It really is. Yeah, they need floodlights on the pads, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I would say the iconic image would be something like a Connie and a Hornet flying past Port Olisar for something like a box art.
Yeah.
I'd see something like that rather than a ship. And you could also argue with even other IPs like Star Wars. People, Hellcat says the Star Destroyer, but like the Millennium Falcon is like
Falcon, X-wing,
but X-wing, TIE Fighter. Like he starts putting up the Blockade Runner. These are all things that people recognize and go, Star Wars. You could say the original Enterprise is iconic, but also I didn't grow up with the Enterprise. I grew up with the Enterprise D, so I see the Enterprise D and I go, there, or the Voyager, or Deep Space Nine, these are all like iconic things. You look at them, if you're a sci-fi fan, you one look and go, I recognize that franchise. I think that's where Star Citizen really also kind of fits in that same way. There's just so many different images from Star Citizen which are kind of iconic to the game, to the point where if you see all of those mobile games that steal CIG's concept art and put them up on their ads, you immediately recognize it. Like, wait, Star Citizen's mobile now? Oh no! Oh, okay, yeah. You see those and just immediately. I still see old Starfield theory crafting videos where they've stolen Star Citizen concept art and they've used it on their thumbnails so they can talk about Starfield. It's like, that's the endeavor. Why are you putting this on Starfield? So yeah.
Can we get a shout out for Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica, the Battlestar itself, or the Vipers.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna reboot that.
Yeah.
Again, they're gonna start it over, and Babylon 5 as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Mook, for that $20. So we're now currently at $1,740. So
nice.
there we go.
Yeah.
Let's get 2K, people.
Come
Yeah,
on,
let's do it.
we can do it. We can do it.
Fire this up.
Gin and Tonic asks, does the Liberator look like a giant A-wing?
Ooh.
It doesn't have wings, though. I don't think it really does. I don't think it has the wings. I guess the main fuselage kind of looks like that because it slopes down.
It looks like the Snow Runner that they had in Empire Strikes Back. You know where they?
Yeah.
That wasn't really an A-wing, right? Wasn't that?
Well, that was. I think that was an A-wing. No, it wasn't.
Was it an A-wing?
It was a different ship, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was. It looked sort of like an A-wing. This one kind of what this looks like because it really doesn't have wings.
Yeah. The snow speeder. Yeah.
Snow speeder. There we go.
I guess so. Maybe I'm confusing those two together. Okay. All right. Rough Galaxy. Do you think CIG will leave in the cat cloud as an Easter egg from the from the thing they made, the little cat cloud? Yes, I hope so. I hope what I'd like to see is a picture of the cat cloud in games, like someone took a picture of it and then like conspiracy theorists, like, is it a sign, like written, scrolled somewhere on a piece of paper nearby or something like that. That'd be nice. What do you guys think? Do you guys think they'll keep that cat cloud? If you remember the cat cloud from the yeah,
Jawa hopes so.
Yeah, hide it in deep space. So. Or they can hide some bangles in deep space. They can hide that in deep space and let.
Yeah, true.
I mean, look at the snowman under New Babbage. You know, that's obviously some silly stuff. So, yeah, they can do some kitties, space kitties.
Yeah. Gin and Tonic asks, okay, well, I guess this is more for me. Do you really think the Liberator is going to get bigger? The design constraint they worked under was the same size as an XL landing pad / hangar. It can't get bigger. It's 119 meters and the pad is 123 meters. Well, taller. It can get taller or longer a little bit here and there. I think so. I still think it's going to go up there. Dell donated $20 as well to Doctors Without Borders. Thank you so much for that, Dell. And Mook says, "Viva la France! Great job as usual." Thank you. That's Mook.
Excellent, excellent.
All right. Okay. What do you all think about them popping Wave 1 in the middle of the first panel? As a content creator, I was very nonplussed, but I understand. I've dedicated to watch your show. Don't make me go play the game now.
Yeah. You start fiending a little bit. You're like,
but
I think it was good.
It was iconic. That's what they do.
It was funny too.
Yeah,
because they 30K'd.
Whoa!
No, that was great.
There's a massive donation just came in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
$660 from Docs.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for that. We're at $1,920.
We can do $80, man. Come on.
Let's
do
guys. $80, everybody. We can do it. Hey, can I give a shout out to Hellcat who had a typo and called it the bagel carrier?
The bagel. That's not a typo. That's its name.
Yeah, that's
That's the name. It's the bagel carrier. It's always been
a
bagel. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Matt Rodeo for that $25. Where we go?
Yeah.
Man.
I think it's like,
come on, we can do it, chat.
It's the thing that Chris Roberts has always wanted to do. I think is the whole dropping the wave thing. Like, I feel like he's gonna like get on board onto stage one day and be like, Star Citizen is in beta or live. You know, he's gonna want to do that on a I almost said Captain's Table. I'm sure he would love to do that. I would love for him to do that as well. But no, on a Citizencon, getting on stage and just dropping the game like that. So you know,
well,
it's
kaboom,
showmanship.
Paul, there it goes.
There we go.
Matt is.
Matt Rodeo for the $25 and Anon for $80.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes.
$2,225, and then $40 on top of that. There we go.
Yes, making money
for good cause. There we go.
Yes, that's awesome.
All right. Thank
Doctors
you, chat.
Without Borders and Men Without Hats. It's a great charity, you know.
All right. Ash Rackham asks, to all, Did you notice what might be the PTV gold standard in the Liberator concept art? It's not. It's the DS. Look at that concept art, blow it up. You'll see it's the Rock DS. And the hanger, the one that's in the hanger. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's definitely the DS.
Yeah, it's a DS. I spotted that right off the bat.
Yeah, with those oversized tires and everything. Yeah.
Oh, just the way the tires are set up, the two closer to each other in the back, and then the one further up. Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from It's Lebowski 12, who asks, "Do you think NPCs will get long-range sniping ability for sniping battles?"
Oh, I hope so.
I really want to fear for my life when I get close to a base. So yes, I want to be able to like land in a distance and be walking up to a base and suddenly watch, a buddy of mine just go down and be like, "What? I have to worry about them this far out," Then again, I'm a madman. I want roving bands of Mad Max savages around Hurston's biome. I want mobile. I want tonks and cyclones and rangers of just people, just nomadic bands of raiders going across Hurston's landscape, raiding various towns and having to deal with that.
I'd like to see that on a higher difficulty reputation mission instead of in general. That's you know what I mean, because there's a lot of times I like to solo the FPS stuff, and if they're seeing me before I'm seeing them.
Yeah, Paul, I'm with you on the the raiders out there, and with salvage coming up. I think we talked about this last captain's table. It'd be fun to just take like a cyclone and take this part off of it, and then the turret off the tank and put that on there, and just build your own like road warrior machine.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what Quanta is. It's kind of like one of those things where like you can allow for those raiders to kind of go around and you're at this town doing this trade outpost, and suddenly the bandits roll in, and then you gotta have to fight them off, or you have to try to get away, something like that. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for in the near future. So
that'd be amazing.
Like Far Cry 6 just came out. You have games like that, Borderlands, or even the Mad Max game. It's one of those things where it's like when you say like you get spotted, and then snipers could be there to take pot shots at you, and then that becomes difficult, right? Because they can hit you maybe even before you see them, and that's a good challenge, for PvE content. I think that would be a good challenge.
Yeah. Someone mentioned in chat Jackal snipers from Halo 2. I still have nightmares about Jackal snipers from Halo 2.
I would really like to see a cover mechanic game. So we can actually, roll up to a rock and take cover and then peek out. I think before that stuff happens, we have to have a little bit more of those mechanics in the game for, tried and true FPS stuff.
I just love the fact that we have leaning in the game. That's one of my favorite things from FPS games is leaning. I'm glad they adopted the Arma model and not the Call of Duty model.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Agree.
Good stuff.
All right, next question. I don't know if this is Zark from Zark Media. If it is, Zark, you're doing a great job. I like your work. But Zark, Z4RK1, asks, after the con is before the con, what are your expectations for Citizencon 2022? Do you think they will go crazy when everything takes place offline again? Do you think CIG will learn from this year's event? Or what do you think they'll learn from this event? Fist, let's start with you on this one. What are your expectations for next year?
Release the Kraken. One, I expect it to be live. So I expect to be in LA next year. I can't. I don't think I can answer this question very well because I've never been to a live Citizencon. But I've definitely been to other conventions where it's in the same type of format and like an E3 type of event, right? So I think we're going to see pretty much same thing. But we've talked about this before, Paul. As CIG more people come back to the office and productivity actually will increase, and we'll see things start to come out faster as things get worked done in squadron and they come in the PU things that we're going to see big things drop, and it's just going to work instead of tier 0, tier 1 stuff. So I have big expectations for next year's Citizencon. I think we could possibly even be looking at seeing stuff on really the Kraken, the Idris, things like that actually coming out, because there's been so much work done already on things like a Idris and a Javelin. And I think next year's big thing is going to be homesteads, really. Towards the end of the year, I think they're really, I mean, we saw a lot this year, just like we saw a lot with Pyro 2 years ago. I think we're going to possibly see Pyro this coming year, and I think we're going to see homesteads the following year. So I think they're going to put a big focus on that. And I'm excited that if whoever comes, Captain Paul, maybe even Cobra or some of those guys, I'm excited to actually meet you guys in real life and do some live streaming from CitizenCon. That'll be fun too. So
Jawa, your expectations?
My expectations are also live. I moved here from California, so I don't know about going back to California, but for Citizencon I will. But yeah, that's what I would I'm hoping for. Things that they may pull from this year. I like the way that they went from 15 fan created art, the commercials, to 42 I think they went to. I would like to see them, I don't know if it was live, like monitors around just running loops of different commercials, and maybe even do more. Maybe get a couple hundred and just keep them on a constant loop so people could watch them while they're just walking around.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking through chat real quickly. Richard, your thoughts on expectations next year? I know we just finished, but this year, but.
Well, so I have maybe a little bit of insight. I was fortunate enough to be able to just, kind of on a sort of casual basis, get to visit a CIG LA last time I was in LA, and this was them leading up to CitizenCon 2020, which, as we all know, is canceled. But while I was there, I tried to, maybe poke and prod a little bit, talk to some folks, folks I was talking to there about CitizenCon, and while they wouldn't reveal anything very specific, they said they were planning on making it the biggest one ever, because Chris Roberts now leaving the LA studio or Santa Monica studio to go over to Manchester. Maybe that might change things, but this is their headquarters, their backyard, and it was going to be at the Los Angeles Convention Center. They even booked it again before they canceled it again, if you saw the reservation. So I really think they were trying to go with the same feel that they had in Austin, but more so because it was at CitizenCon 2018. They actually, I think, what was it? Yeah, they hired actors to portray people who worked for various companies within the Star Citizen universe. And this is LA, this is Hollywood. It's right next door. So I think they were probably going to try to make a big one-day production of it, really try to make it feel immersive that you're actually in the Star Citizen universe. So beyond the content, which, Fist kind of covered his thoughts, and I'm right there with you. I think they also wanted to make it where, I'm not going to say outlandish, just go big, because it's LA, it's their headquarters town. They got, like I said, it's the entertainment industry, the pretty much like the biggest one in the world right there. So I think they were going to try to make a big production of it beyond Star Citizen content to be shown at presentation. So yeah, and again, like I said, I just happened to be in LA. I think it was maybe for E3. I got to stop by and say hi. But yeah, they said they were planning on going big. People had rumors about like musical acts or getting actors from Squadron 42 to show up. They wouldn't confirm any of that, I can tell you that. But it is LA, so I think they were planning on going pretty big with it. From what I understand, they weren't going to rent out the entire LA Convention Center because it's massive, but it would have been, I think, a big event. And if they go for it next year back in LA for 2022, I think they're once again going to try to do that, just to make a big BlizzCon-esque spectacle of it all. And I think it will be awesome. You'll see me there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think 2022 is definitely a year they go big. I know a lot of people are disappointed. There's a bunch of people in chat who's like they were disappointed with this year. I think they did with what they could what they could with what they had, and I think next year a lot of core tech should be entering final stages. We should see more of full persistence coming in. Hopefully, big hopeful, we'll see like server meshing in, so we can see Pyro. The mood around CIG and around what I've been following with CIG in terms of like if you read their monthly reports, you look at the progress tracker, you look at the updates, it's pretty clear that CIG is firing up for something. They always move things around, but like there's a lot more movement. Like there's a lot of stuff that's being done for 3.16 that was finished off and sealed off before Citizencon, before 3.15 was launched, which is something they don't usually do too often. So my hope is that what we'll see in 2022 is Pyro and Nyx and, like explorations of gameplay content. Hopefully we'll already have salvage by then, but like repair, refueling, salvage, full loops, discussions on the full loops, discussions on the technology. I think they'll go hard. If not at the end of the year, they'll be releasing, like I can see Chris Roberts standing up there and saying, we've just released server meshing version 1 at Citizencon 2022. It's available for first wave PTU right now. Like he'll go through the full presentation or the full keynote speech, end it with that, and then move on. Something like that. I think that is where they're looking to do.
You think it's going to take another year to get there for server meshing?
I think so.
For Pyro?
Let me say this. I think that if they got it done, if they said we could get it done by August, they'll go, let's just polish it up for a couple more months. CitizenCon's around the corner. Let's just polish it up a little bit more, because that biggest marketing event of the year sort of thing is big, and also it could probably use more polishing anyways at that point. If it may be working, but it may not be ready for that sort of thing. So you need server meshing for Pyro, yes. So yeah, I think I agree with Captain Richard. I think with most of us is that I think next year is going to be big. It's going to go big. They'll be more big than we had, bigger than we had this year. But.
So let me ask you a question with that. If we know we're not going to get Pyro till we get server meshing, right? So if it's a whole year away, and Montreal gets an entire year to work on systems, do they drop Pyro, Nyx,
yes,
System X, System
same
Y,
time.
System Z?
I think
same time.
I think ideal situation. Chris Roberts steps on stage, says we have server meshing. Pyro and Nyx are online right now.
Yeah,
for Wave 1.
That sounds feasible too. It's not outlandish because they've already shown us that they're working on stuff for Nyx already. Yeah. And if I totally agree with Paul. That's if they're gonna drop Pyro, they might drop Nyx at the same time because of server meshing.
Yeah. 4.0 is now live. 4.0 Wave 1 is now live. That's what they'll drop that at Citizen. Yeah. That is ending Twitch's. That's a Twitch breaking moment. That's a Star Citizen. That's RobertSpaceIndustries.com is now offline. You've hugged it to death. Please stop trying to buy our game kind of moment. That's an eye-watering amount of money in a day for CIG if they did something like that. And the only thing I hope for, because Twitch has changed a lot since the last time they streamed CitizenCon on Twitch. As far as I understand, based off of my own explorations, you don't really have the browse menu anymore. You don't just go to the browse menu and you see the top games. You kind of are forced to go through their algorithm of what games you like to see and what streams you'd like to see. So if CIG wants to get attention to CitizenCon, they're going to have to go to Amazon and get front page time. Which they could. They have the connections with Amazon, with Twitch. They know the right people to talk to. They could do it. I think that's what they'd have to. If they're going big in let me put it this way, if they go big in 2022, they will be on front page of Twitch.
Yeah.
100,000 people watching them, 200,000 people watching them. That's what.
Paul, if you and I can do it, they can certainly do
it. We've both been on the front page multiple times, so if we can do it, I think the people who could personally talk to the heads of Twitch can do it too. So,
exactly.
Well, do you think then we would get Theaters of War next year prior to server meshing?
No, I think it'll drop at the same time.
So that's a ton of content at one time in one patch.
Look at 315.
That's crazy.
Look at 315. That's a lot of content in 315 that we got in one patch, and this is a year away. So we'll see. I think if it's not at CitizenCon, I think Theaters of War will be at the patch after CitizenCon, a patch after that, something like that. So, but I think it's after server meshing. That's a different one though. Okay. Hopefully.
Just want to put a little asterisk on that statement. Fingers crossed.
The Golden Triangles asks, I just got back, so sorry if you talked about it. Thoughts on the Liberator compared to the Crucible? The Crucible is a repair and refuel and rearming ship. The Liberator is a ferry. It is a roll-on, roll-off. It is a glorified canoe compared to the Crucible. That's my take, at least. What do y'all think?
Yeah. I don't know enough about the Crucible. The Crucible kind of does everything, right?
It's a repair ship. It's that dedicated repair ship. So
right.
Yeah. They're two different missions of that ship. I don't think you can necessarily compare them. One can, now you could compare like a Kraken or something to a Liberator, but
the Kraken's much better than Liberator. It's also bigger.
Carry,
yeah.
But they carry things into battle, right? So I mean, the Crucible is after the battle, like you're fixing things. So
Question about the Liberator. Then I saw it in chat as well. It's it would be nice if you could put those ships on there and then repair, refuel, rearm. I'm just wondering, will you be able to at least refuel on the Liberator?
I'm sure you can manually refuel, but
great question. We need more info, Java.
Yeah,
I'll just say this. I mean, the Liberator isn't going to have that sweet cockpit that turns around the other way, so you can look at what you're doing in the back. It's got that rotating restaurant cockpit.
Yeah, I was going to say the Space Needle rotation.
So bonus points for the Crucible on that one.
Parky, I'll explain this. Parky, the reason why I don't think Theaters of War is going to come out until after server meshing is because CIG have said that they're not going to be working on the code optimizations they need to for fixing things like desync until after they've done with server meshing. It may not have anything to do with server meshing. It's just the resources involved. There's like 17 people in the world who work on video game programming, and CIG has like 2 of them. They're like more precious than gold. They're voodoo wizards when it comes to these sorts of things. They are actual magicians. So there's only so much time and effort they can put on one aspect. And I think they're all hands on deck for server meshing. So, all right. Next question comes from Kalesk 3000, who asks, when do you think Star Citizen will go full first person mode? I don't think it'll I think getting rid of third person camera. I don't think it'll ever get rid of third person camera.
No. In fact, I want it to expand. I know they're not going to, but maybe an expansion one day. We have a lot of friends that they get motion sickness. They can't play in first person, but they play very easily in third person. So if they could even do something as simple as put a reticle up there for shooting things, I think that would expand their audience quite a bit. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of third person.
No.
Maybe if when private servers become a thing, they have the modders manual. If people do get to do private servers, they'll probably be able to set it like an Arma server, where it's like, you can force it to be first person only. But same with these guys. I don't ever see it going first person exclusively. They call it a first person universe, but with, of course, the third person cameras.
They're more cinematic cameras. They're more for like interesting. You can't really use them for gameplay. And unless you were
They removed it. Mr. Zgaha would cry for days.
Yeah.
He just like, no.
Hasgaha, Morphologist, and Space Tomato would be gnashing and wailing for years to come.
Fetal position.
Yeah. Phantom asks, based on the gameplay shown at Citizencon, how difficult do you think stealth missions will be? Richard,
how difficult?
Do you think? Yeah, Richard, how difficult do you think stealth missions will be based off what you saw?
Well, because my version of stealth is running guns blazing, it might be pretty difficult. Yeah. On a technical basis, I don't know. I mean, you know how the AI is right now. It's just, I mean, you kind of saw in the demo, it's like the guy was able to not even really tiptoe, was able to just like walk into rooms and just blast people. So unless they increase the detection range of NPCs to, hear or see players, whatever. So far, it doesn't look like it's going to be too tough. But if they up the difficulty level, then sure. Again, challenge. That challenge is a good thing. Otherwise, you just do it. I remember in the old days when like Source or even Tickles would just run into like a bunker cleared out in like 15 seconds flat. That's why would you do stealth if you can beat NPCs that way? So hopefully they do add more challenge to it.
Fist, what do you think?
Well, so first thing, we got to have our FPS so we can, and hopefully you'll be able to maybe see, like in other FPS games, the way the NPCs are looking, their view radius. Because I've definitely been walking behind an NPC like a bad guy, and then they know I'm there, so they turn around and blast me. But I would like to see specialized armor and stealth to go along with higher difficulty stealth missions, or some kind of maybe the Hadesian is a stealth amplifier or something like that. And then we'll be able to do that, but it has to coincide with the right mission, where it's like, hey, save the VIP, and if you get, if they see you, they're going to shoot them, and type of stuff, or things like that. Standard FPS trope. But I'm looking forward to it because that's certainly a style of game and a style of gameplay that I think a lot of people like the Tom Clancy games and stuff. And there's just so much room in that area to do stuff, and I'd be looking forward to it for sure.
Awesome. Jawa, your thoughts?
Yeah. Question one more time, please.
Based on the gameplay shown at Citizencon, how difficult do you think the stealth missions will be?
I think it's going to be as difficult as they want it to be, because you're going to have difficult stealth missions and then not very difficult stealth missions, because they were talking about some of the quanta that if you take a mission but you're only ranked up so high, it's not going to be as hard. You're not going to have as tough of bad guys. So, okay, maybe they won't have as much perception. So, I think that if you're really good at the stealth missions and your ranking is pretty high there, I think it's going to be pretty darn tough. But for people like me that trip over their own shoes and fall down, I think that they may cut us a little slack. Damn, that's just my take on it, I guess.
There is one mechanic that I think CIG would benefit from using, that Elite Dangerous Odyssey uses, where there's a mechanic where you have to be undetected in order to complete the mission. So, and at that point, now you're required to do stealth. Otherwise, if you get detected, not only do you have to fight your way out, but you potentially could fail the mission because they sound the alarm or whatever. So that was a mission type in Elite Dangerous Odyssey, that they added when they brought in FPS gameplay. That could make stealth missions a little harder. It's not just run and gun as soon as you you see people.
Could it also be the armor you're wearing? Because if you're wearing a light armor, it's going to be a lot easier for stealth. You're wearing heavy armor. I mean, the same thing in Dungeons and Dragons. You can't be that stealthfully in plate armor. So you're running around in a Pembroke suit. Okay, I don't know how stealthy you can be.
You can be warm, though.
I think we'll see we'll definitely see some variation. I think with stealth, I think you'll have some NPCs which will be dumb as a box of rocks, and you'll just be able to like literally walk in front of them or barely almost walk in front of them, and with like carrying around the National Guard armory, and they're like, I see nothing. Then there'll be some that are like you hit a rock, a tiny pebble, and suddenly they're like on you and just murder-lating you. I think there'll definitely be a sliding scale there. The key is to get the NPCs not derping. But we'll see, because there are some we haven't really explored. I don't think anyone's really had the ability to explore 315 fully, because there's also a mission types in those ranges of the like go in and kill all those NPCs on bunker missions that are stealth missions. So they call it a stealth mission, or they call it infiltration. So it's like maybe we'll see a little bit with 315, but I guess we'll have to see. All right. We've only got 6 questions left, and I'm halfway through, just about.
So Vortec brings up a point, says, plus with stealth missions, it would be cool if you could distract some of the NPCs. They actually showed that in the Citizencon demo, where the character picks up a can, throws it, one of the guards looks like stops for a sec, and so so Vortec, that actually is something that they demoed in Citizencon.
Yeah, and yes, Rolo is correct. There's not going to be Skyrim stealth.
No.
Like, you're not going to be able to just sneak right in front of somebody. Yeah.
No. All right. Next question. Gin and Tonic asks, what would you like to see at IAE for Jax McCleary's Best in Show commercial?
Argo Cargo.
Yeah.
I would. My dream idea is Jax McCleary goes up and says, I've been told by Argo Astronautics that we're going to see the ship that's voted best in show for IAE 29. There's exclusive upfront experience with this fantastic ship from Argo. Let's see what it is. It's got to be the mole or the SRV, and then walks up and then goes out and goes, is this a joke? Am I funny to you? And someone would be like, no, that's actually one. And he goes, who the bloody hell, who voted for the Argo Cargo? Something like that. I want him to rip the Argo Cargo a new one. That's what I want him to do. Just Jax McCleary being evil about it, because I just think it would be funny.
But at least it's got a new skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got new paint.
And didn't somebody mention, or it was somewhere about it having turning into a little ambulance, basically a small Cuddy Red with one bed in it.
That's a theoretical. It was a proposed version of it. A module for it was like a search and rescue module. So yeah.
I mean, forget the Retaliator. Do your modularity on the Argo.
Yeah,
you could put so many things in that little Argo.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's the Jeep of Star Citizen.
Yeah.
It'll be towing things and everything.
What do you just in general, Fist? We'll start with you. What are you expecting from Jax McCleary in this IAE?
Yeah, definitely. I'm agreeing with you with stuff. He'll probably make fun of it, and then maybe he'll as he crashes it or something. Yeah. I'm expecting definitely to see the MSR in there and him doing stuff with that. The Jax McCleary stuff is just one of my favorite parts of IAE, because I love Top Gear and Jeremy Clarkson. So I expect it to be funny more than anything, and him to make fun of the Argo.
Jawa?
I'm wondering if he's going to do his own version of Does It Fit, and find out where the Argo Cargo can fit.
It's a great idea.
Richard, what do you think about about Jax McCleary? What do you think from Jax McCleary's this year?
I don't know if they'll do it, but my wish is I hope he does something highly inappropriate with one of the new A2 bombs. You know, one of the big bombs and dropping it on something that it's not supposed to drop it on. You know, just be like, what does this button do?
Yeah.
And it's like, my goodness, let's get out of here. You know, just and then boom, back in the background. It's like they told me those weren't armed. Anyway, you know? So I hope I want to see them have Jax maybe mess around a little bit with the A2. And maybe get in a little trouble, like he does in past Citizencon events or IAE events. Yeah,
I'd love for a repeat of the mind test for science. They tell me this is disarmed for science. Yeah, I'd love something like that with the A2 bomb. Something
exactly.
Yeah. I've been told that this is unarmed, but I don't want to risk myself, so I'm going to have a tiny child from the orphanage test this out. Come back and see how this goes.
Or his sidekick. What's his sidekick's name that always brings with him? I forget his name.
Is it Jimmy or something?
Jimmy, it's Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah. So he'll have Jimmy ride it like Doctor Strange.
All right.
Well, they did in the commercial for the A2. I think they have the guy riding the bomb.
Yeah,
and he's like,
the 3-point stance. Yeah. Fun fact: if I get to go to CitizenCon, I'm going to get to cosplay as Jimmy from that with the helmet with the polar eyes and everything, because he's got this like the suit and the visor.
Yeah.
So.
I should cosplay as the bomb, you know, just walk around. Hi, what are you cosplaying as? A Moab, you know?
Danger! I'm highly explosive.
Best in show or else, you know.
All right. Tigress Khan asks, what do you think of the colors we're getting on Pyro? I like the colors. I like that style.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. Like everything else in this game. They're amazing.
Yeah. Especially in 4K, right, Fist?
That's right. That's right. If you don't play in 4K, I'm telling you guys, the 3080 Ti is a very expensive card, but running this game with good frames in 4K is amazing. It's a different game.
Yeah, I really like the nacho cheese planet. That looked delicious. Wonderful.
I love the fact that it comes with its own preheating, because it's also on the planet with all the volcanoes. So so it keeps it nice and warm.
The fondue planet.
Yeah.
I'll bring the chips.
It's a follow-up question. What do you think about river tech, and are you looking forward to swimming? I am looking very much forward to swimming, because the only other lumberyard game I've played is New World, and you don't so much as swim as you sink. Because you don't swim in that game, you just walk through the water, and your head goes below water, and it's like you're wearing lead shoes as you're walking along the bottom. So I'd like to see what a lumberyard game looks like when you can swim. I don't know. Are you all looking forward to river tech? Is there anything specific you're looking forward to with river tech?
Just serene scenes, you know. They're adding more trees and stuff, and you could do some space camping. And then which they showcased. Remember with the Mustang beta, they're like, oh yeah, you know, just go land in a alien forest and go hang out by the water. But it'll just be a nice change of pace from just all the oceans that they have. Yeah, you know, running rivers. I made the comment. It's like, yeah, if they can ever bring in more water bodies of water and then bring fishing in, it's like, well, they'll just have just so many people just sitting there, just like, playing Star Citizen.
It's an MMO. They have to have fishing. They have to have fishing.
Exactly.
They have to have fishing.
Yeah.
You'll never find Jawa doing anything but fishing.
Yeah. Hey, I'll fly an 890 down to a nice trout stream and get out, and hey.
Yeah, there you go.
Jawa, what do you look forward to with rivers?
Let's see. The rivers, I remember when they put out the video on it, it's showing how the vegetation changes. Now it gets more green and dense by the rivers. And I'm forward to that. I mean, this is a beautiful game, and you add that kind of diversity. And yeah, fishing. I was going to bring that back up. In fact, Cobra and I, we spent part of an interview talking about fishing. But also, I mean, that is its own habitat. So why not start bringing wildlife in too?
Mm-hmm.
Bring animals down to get a drink out of the water. So, and just the contrast of, we see just rocks and dirt and trees and rocks and dirt and trees, and then a stream moving through and just seeing how the water moves. So I'm just looking forward to the whole thing.
Nice. Fist, anything looking forward to?
So I'm hoping that just like in real life, right? We tend to settle cities and places around large bodies of water. So we could hopefully use that for navigation. If people really want to be immersive, follow this river down to this next city, you know, when we start seeing stuff on the cold moons like Yellow or something, that they're all frozen over, and then it's ice, and then maybe something like that, because your vehicles and stuff handle different on ice, and it just adds not just the more to the beauty of it, but to there's probably a little gameplay associated in there too. So
I will say I'm looking forward to rivers only because I want to be able to float down the river. I want to be able to just ragdoll in the back and just do a river float, just go tubing down the river and see if it actually works.
The lazy river on Hurston, that'll be Just don't touch the water.
Nice and toxic.
Yeah. Speaking of fauna, Spaceship Training Wheels asks, will we not see fauna until server meshing? Or are the AI or players the bigger loads on the server?
I think it's more about the planetary surface NPCs,
Yeah.
I think that's the big one.
Yeah, I think it's much more of the mesh, the nav mesh is the issue of them being able to walk around. And that's being done. So...
All the three-headed deer falling through the planet of Hurston.
Yeah. Did I miss it? I thought that they were going to talk about wildlife, talk about fauna.
It wasn't.
I thought they were going to bring up the whale and maybe even the Yeti, but I don't remember seeing that at all yesterday.
No, I don't think it was on the panels, but I think they mentioned that they might talk about it on there. I was expecting them to talk about it because there's a lot of it being done in the back end, and I think it's even on the progress tracker now. The Yeti and the whale, the Boreal Stalker. So, but
I can't wait to kill it.
Just don't try to fist fight it. Don't try to fist fight a bear. Fist.
He will.
I don't want you to fist the Boreal Stalker. At least not without a safe word.
You could be mean. You could have a pistol in one hand, the Cure Life pistol in the other. Pow, zap, pow,
pow, zap.
Just gets annoyed with it.
But that's gonna be a rite of passage. Like, take a knife, go kill a Boreal Stalker. Good luck. You've got 5 days. You have a knife and a knife and a suit. Go to the woods of Microtech and kill a stalker.
You want to be in Test Squadron? Here you go.
You have one bottle of beer, a knife, and a bear. Good luck.
There was that Mandalorian themed org that I remember they had an advertisement during Citizencon, and I could totally see them doing that. Just like how the Mandalorian, he had to go do that, go fight a beast to prove his worth. So maybe orgs will start doing that.
Ooh, thank you for that. Can we get jetpacks?
Oh. Yes.
Thank you.
Jetpacks when?
Thank you, SF.
I just noticed the donations made another run again.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Great. Thank you so much, chat.
Yeah, SFX Shingo, thank you so much. $50 for now up to $2,115. So,
kicking butt.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the fauna is going to add another level of gameplay that's going to be interesting. I think fishing would add an interesting level, and as much as it sounds kind of like distant off future, because of what we've seen that's been done in the past, I wouldn't be surprised if we had fauna by next Citizencon. I could see, like some of these things out there, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just tired of always bringing the animals into Star Citizen here. So
Yeah. All right.
Please, CIG, don't put cats in the game.
Flat
yes,
cats,
I
flat
want
cats are
my
coming.
pet cat.
Yeah.
I was gonna have a ship full of cats, and
Or we could have flat cats, the high gravity cats. All right, we have 2 more questions. Golden Triangles asks, did the Caterpillar go up in price? If so, why? I think they mentioned that they were doing a review for it, and then they decided it was going to go up in price, but I think they said there was going to go up in the price for IAE, right?
yeah, they did a thing where they're selling it here on the when they did the green paints.
Yeah.
They said get it now while it's still under $300, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's going up.
Yeah, they did, but I think they did mention that it's going to be that they were reviewing it, and based off of other factors, it's going up in price. Yeah, but it's going up in price at IE, so it's not up yet. I have a conspiracy theory, which is because they were recently working on modules, they went through the review process of modules and looked at the Caterpillar and went, this thing's going to be way better with its modules than we realized. So maybe we need to up the price a little bit. It's kind of something what they did with the Retaliator. If you look at the Retaliator, the base has been super affordable because it's like $150 versus the Retaliator Bomber was like $250 or $275. So if you get the base now, you get a Retaliator Bomber for free. But the second that modularity comes in, that's gone, and you're gonna have to buy that in game or buy that separately. So it's like an automatic like price increase, because you have that base.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know why, but they definitely said that will be increasing at IAE.
Get a Caterpillar. It's an awesome ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Modular eventually.
Modular
When? Who knows?
Yeah.
Soon.
Hey,
Tim.
it was brought up in chat. It was brought up in chat a little bit ago. They say, well, if the price is going up on the cat, does that mean that maybe the modularity or something else is going to be coming in? Maybe like a tractor beam.
I think we'll have to wait until we'll have to wait until it comes back onto the progress tracker, and but we'll see. I think that's more of a seeing at the end of the year, end of the year sort of thing, beginning of next year, see where it ends up. So, all right. Last question is from Mook, who asks, "How is everybody doing?"
Fantastic.
Recovering from Citizencon well, all of y'all.
How are you doing?
That's his next question is, how am I holding up? I'm about 12 hours in, and I need more water, but other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm a little hungry because I've had like a slice of pizza today, and that's about it. That's all I've had for food.
Oh boy.
I had breakfast. I had like a little one of those crack an egg to it, like you just crack an egg into and you put little additions and you put it in the microwave. I had that as well. So I think that's about it though. How you holding up there, Richard? How's your post Citizencon day so far?
It was good. Yeah, it was kind of a long day, as mentioned before. I stayed up a little later than I meant to, but I actually went to a British car show earlier today with my father. So that was kind of a nice jaunt after Citizencon. Saw a lot of Aston Martins, MGs, Bentleys, and Triumphs and all sorts of things. So yeah, went for a drive today. Got to do some car show stuff. Other than digital spaceship JPEGs, I love cars. So yeah, it was nice. And then came back. Sorry I was a little bit late today, but I was coming back from that, and happy to be here. So all in all, a really excellent weekend. Really excellent weekend.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. Joe and I are going to see the Blue Angels next weekend.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Up in Loveland, Colorado. So that'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. We have raised $2,115 so far. We're
so good,
and we're only halfway through, y'all. I'm going to be here for another 12 hours, bringing people like Captain Burks, Cobra TV, Buster the Destroyer, Execute, Jail. We've got a ton of fantastic content creators who are going to be coming on and talking more about their own Citizencon experiences. And I'm going to be sitting here progressively getting more and more insane. So by the end of this, I will be, shirtless, screaming about the coming death of the Vandul. The Vandul are coming. They're coming for your children. And Chris Roberts is secretly behind all of it. So that's how it's going to happen. So thank you guys all coming again. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Fist and Jawa, for coming in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.